Hello students, welcome to the English class. Well students, we have already started with Aunt Jennifer's Tigers written by Adrienne Rich, and we have already gone through the video lecture containing the theme and the analysis of the poem. Today we are going to do line by line explanation of the poem, but before that I would like to discuss with you about the poet and about the characters involved in the poem, and after that in this video only we will go with the line by line discussion of the poem, line by line explanation of the poem, right? This PPT I have already provided you beforehand, okay, where I have written you about Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, about the character sketch. There are three main characters, so we have already seen in this PPT about the characters and about the author. But before going on with the line by line explanation of the poem, I want to discuss with you about the poet and about the characters involved in this poem, okay. Well, in this PPT video, we will see about the author, the background of this poem, the character, and we will also see the summary of the poem. The author Adrienne Rich, well, we know Adrienne Rich, born in 1929, and she had lived till 2012. She was an American poet, essayist, and a radical feminist. She was called one of the most widely read and influential poets of the second half of the 20th century. She is widely known for her involvement in contemporary women's movement as a poet and theorist. A strong resistance to racism and militarism echoes through her work. If we see Aunt Jennifer's Tiger, we will find that in this poem also the poet, that is Adrienne Rich, has voiced out the feminist feeling. Okay, so the role of feminism is very, very prominent in her work. Adrienne Rich began publishing poetry while still in college, and her early poems, including Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, display formalist precision and understated modernist critique. Okay, so Aunt Jennifer's Tiger is a very modern poem where we find that women suffering from various kind of domestic violence and various kind of domination, how the women should protest. Okay, this voicing up of their domination is very much displayed in this poem. Modernism often dealt with the existential despair and rejection of traditional social systems and structures that provided no meaning to people in a modern industrialized world. It used unsentimental psychological realism to examine characters who felt alienated from their lives. For Rich, this included the quiet despair of women trapped in traditional gender roles. This feeling is displayed in Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, in which the young speaker, likely a niece, watches her aunt struggle through needlework, her fingers weighed down by her wedding ring. Well, when we have discussed yesterday about the theme, and we have also analyzed the poem, we have already discussed all this thing, that how Aunt Jennifer had suffered various kind of what we can say male domination in her life, right? Well, the characters, there are three main characters: Aunt Jennifer, speaker, and uncle. Actually, uncle's role is very slight. We don't find the uncle's presence over there. But yes, the uncle is continuously being mentioned, because uncle is the main source for Aunt Jennifer's unhappiness. Aunt Jennifer is the main character, the major character, and speaker is only an observer. Okay, she observes the entire thing and she narrates it. And in her narration only, we find that she is very much what we can say leaned towards Aunt Jennifer only. She is very much, she understands the problem of Aunt Jennifer. She understands that what kind of married life Aunt Jennifer is going through, right? So if you see in the character map, here it is given, that is the speaker. She is a very young relative. She is looking towards Aunt Jennifer. Okay, Aunt Jennifer is a skillful embroiderer. Okay, and Aunt Jennifer is the wife of the uncle, who is a controlling man, right? And the husband dominates Aunt Jennifer, and the wife is fearing the uncle, and that is inspiring the speaker. If you can see it very clearly over here, it is mentioned over here. how uncle's domination towards Aunt Jennifer is creating a fear of Aunt Jennifer towards the uncle. So this is the relationship that Aunt Jennifer and uncle, both of them, are sharing. Okay, and this relationship is being observed by the speaker, and she is being inspired by seeing this kind of observation, right? Among the characters, if you see, Aunt Jennifer is the main character. Though the reader is not given specific details of Aunt Jennifer's troubled marriage, she is described as terrified. The poem focuses on her embroidery, in which she sews tigers on a field of green. As she sews, she is impeded by the weight of her wedding ring. In contrast to Aunt Jennifer herself, who seems meek and quiet and has a family life, the speaker describes as an ordeal. Aunt Jennifer's art is lively and fearless. Well, we have already discussed about these things, that how Aunt Jennifer is expressing her fear or expressing her passion for freedom only through her needlework. The speaker, she is the very young relative. Okay, she is narrating the poem, she is observing the entire thing, and she is very much influenced by this Aunt Jennifer's married life, and she understands that what kind of what a woman has to undergo after marriage, because 1950s, as I have already told you in my previous video lecture, the 1950s was the time when women were very much dominated, whether it's in the Asian countries or in the European countries. Okay, so the speaker here also have observed the same thing, and she is inspired by all this thing, and maybe she has developed a kind of feminist feeling in her mind also. Next is the uncle. The uncle is a very having a kind of male ego, or we can say a very male chauvinistic person. Okay, he is not named in the poem, but is continuously being mentioned as uncle. Okay, however, the poem deals heavily with how Aunt Jennifer is afraid of and oppressed by her husband. Means her husband is really very dominating over his wife. Aunt Jennifer's Tigers was written in 1951 by Adrienne Rich. It was included in her first book of poetry, A Change in the World, through the image of a woman. Aunt Jennifer the poet critiques marriage. Okay, so Aunt Jennifer the poet means through Aunt Jennifer, the poet is actually criticizing marriage life, right? And the way that it has systematically oppressed women for centuries. She explores themes that include gender, power or lack thereof, and marriage. These are all seen through the time and dedication that Jennifer gives to her needlepoint. Through the short lines of the poem, the speaker embodies the struggle this woman is going through and juxtaposes it against the tigers that she is creating. Their power is contrasted against her own lack of power. Okay, so Aunt Jennifer creating the tiger is actually what we can say is two contrasting images are coming out, like how Aunt Jennifer is afraid of her husband, but in reality she wants the freedom which a tiger enjoys. Okay, so tiger is a desire, is a dream, but she is complete in her reality, or in her real life she is leading a very contrasting life compared to the tiger, right? Students, next in my I will be continuing with the video lecture, where I will be giving you the line by line explanation of the poem. After going through the characters and the summary of the poem, now we will go directly to the poem, where we will have the line by line explanation of the poem. Aunt Jennifer's Tiger is the sixth and the last poem in your Flamingo book. Okay, here we have got a short biography of Adrienne Rich. You can go through it in order to understand that in which philosophy did Adrienne Rich has written the poem, right? So let's continue with the poem. The poem is a very short poem of only 12 lines. Okay, but in these 12 lines we find that the poet has very powerfully expressed the feminist feeling, right? So let's start. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree, they pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. what it says. Aunt Jennifer's tigers, they prance and move across a screen or panel. Okay, prance means they move about, or we can say they are jumping or moving in a spirited meaning. Okay, spirited manner. Okay, so if you can write, prance means to jump. Okay, to jump over across a screen. Okay, what is the screen here? What is the meaning of screen here? Here screen means the surface of a tapestry. Okay, the surface of a tapestry where the embroidery is being done. Okay, the surface where the embroidery is being done. Okay, so Aunt Jennifer's tiger, Aunt Jennifer is sewing the design of a tiger, and her tiger, what kind of what are the tigers doing? She is not stitching up, or she is not sewing up the sitting tiger or standing tiger, but her tigers are moving about. Okay, the tigers are lively, they are jumping and moving about, and that also in a very spirited manner. Okay, bright topaz denizen of a world of green. Topaz, what is the meaning of topaz? Topaz means bright yellow precious stone. You can write it down. Topaz means bright yellow stones. You know the color of a tiger, isn't it? The color of a tiger is completely yellow. Okay, yellow and black strip. So here, therefore, the color of the tiger has been compared to what? To topaz. Now topaz is a very powerful stone. Okay, it's a very precious and a very powerful stone. So that has been compared to the tiger. Okay, bright topaz denizen. Denizen means what? Denizen means inhabitants. Okay, inhabitants. Please write down whatever meanings I am providing. Please write it down. Okay, bright topaz, inhabitants of a world of green. What is the meaning of world of green? Green here refers to forest. Okay, so the tiger, they are moving about, and they are the citizens of what? Of the forest. They are the citizen of forest, and forest means something which is wild, which is not tamed. Okay, so already I have told you in the theme and summary that Aunt Jennifer was in reality just the opposite of the tiger, where Aunt Jennifer is dominated, is a timid a woman, a very meek woman who is submissive in her family life. Okay, but the tiger is not so. The tiger is wild. Okay, not at all tamed. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. Of course, this particular tiger is not fearful. Okay, the poet describes the tiger as a bright colored, like this shining golden yellow jewel topaz. Okay, they are the free inhabitants of the green forest and are not scared of the men standing under the tree. Okay, these tigers move about with grace, with elegance, and with confidence. Okay, they pace in sleek chivalric certainty. Okay, so they are pacing. Pacing means walking about. Okay, they are walking about in what? With chivalric certainty. Okay, what is the meaning of chivalric? Chivalric means brave, very, very brave. Okay, and of course honorable. Brave also and honorable also. Okay, so the tigers are very brave and very honorable, and they are walking with certainty. What is the meaning of certainty? With lots of confidence. Okay, certainty means confidence. Okay, so this tiger, they are moving about, they are walking about in a very brave, honorable, with full of confidence. They are not afraid of this men, or they are not afraid of humans. Okay, so Aunt Jennifer's tigers are not real or living tigers. They are images created by Aunt Jennifer on tapestry. Okay, Aunt Jennifer, who is held captive by the oppressive hand of a patriarchal society, creates in her art an alternate world of freedom. The tigers represent her dreams, her desire to be free from constant fear and oppression that govern her life. These majestic and fearless tigers also present a sharp contrast to Aunt Jennifer herself, who is bound by the constraints of married life. Right? Second stanza. Aunt Jennifer's fingers, fluttering through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. So, in the second stanza, Aunt Jennifer appears to be creating beautiful images of the tigers by using wool, okay, but she finds it quite hard to pull even the ivory needle. She is so terrorized and tortured that she is unable to carry the weight of the wool, okay, her fingers flutter. The uncle's wedding band seems heavy on her hand. It suggests that she feels burdened with her marital responsibilities. Now, through this stanza, the poet wants to convey the fact that a woman throughout her lifetime works to glorify the tiger that is her husband. Okay, but she feels so much subjugated that the marital bond becomes a burden on her. This is also the reality of Aunt Jennifer's life. Okay, see, means Aunt Jennifer is always concerned that how to make her husband happy, how to satisfy her husband, and as a result her own wishes, her own dreams, somewhere it gets it gets being submerged. Okay, it can never open up, right? But these tigers are there inside her. Okay, she is craving for that freedom which she is unable to achieve. Right now, wedding band, what is this? There are some words that are being used, like fluttering. What is the meaning of fluttering? Fluttering means to move irregularly. Okay, to move irregularly, right? Then there is another word that is massive. Massive means what? Massive means heavy. Okay, so uncle's wedding band is very, very heavy. Okay, wedding band, what is the wedding band here refers to? Wedding band here refers to the ring. Okay, the wedding ring which Aunt Jennifer is wearing in her finger. Okay, now the thing, as I have told you when we were discussing about the theme, I have already told you about the ring. It is being told uncle's wedding ring. It is not being told aunt's wedding ring, because when aunt is wearing that wedding ring, it should mean that it is her wedding ring, but no, it is uncle's wedding ring. That means that is a kind of, what we can say, a kind of metaphor has been used, a kind of symbolism has been used, because here the wedding band refers to or symbolizes the what we can say, the dominating or the oppressive marriage life that Aunt Jennifer is passing through. Right now, let's go to the last stanza. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. The final stanza reveals a sad truth. The poet says that even death will not be able to release Aunt Jennifer from the trauma she had to undergo during her lifetime. Her life will be a story of her ordeals and the oppression that she was subjected to. However, the tigers created by her will be eternal. They will always be proud and unafraid. Here we get a glimpse of an oft-quoted conventional theme in poetry, that art endures beyond human life. Of course, the Aunt Jennifer is going to die, but her art will remain, isn't it? We have read in Shakespeare, when we have read Shakespeare's sonnet and all, Shakespeare is always told everything will be destroyed, but what will remain is the art, isn't it? Perhaps the poet wants to say that the women themselves are creating these tigers. Okay, they need to break their shackles and be unafraid like the tigers themselves. One more thing that can be inferred from the poem is that Aunt Jennifer, who for long has borne the miseries she was subjected to, now longs for freedom from dominance and male chauvinism. And that we can see through here. Okay, that is, we sympathize with Aunt Jennifer. She represents those women who are victimized by the male dominated society. She feels oppressed, and the rules of society do not allow her to express herself freely. Okay, so therefore this art is the only means through which she can express herself. Okay, so art is a kind of, what we can say, is a kind of outlet of her feelings. Okay, outlet of her dreams and desire, that what she exactly wants from her married life, or what she exactly wants in her own life. Right now, there is one question which comes very often, and that is, Aunt Jennifer's effort to get rid of her fear proved to be futile. Is it correct or not? Okay. Of course, the trembling hands of Aunt Jennifer because of the weight of the wedding band show that she still is a victim of male chauvinism. Even her death won't free her from that ordeal, okay, as she will still be wearing the ring that symbolizes her failed marriage, right? Well, students, I hope you have understood whatever has been explained over here, okay. Well, here a few words are there which needs to be explained more, like the word ringed, okay. Here ringed is actually meaning two things. Number one is the marriage ring, okay, which she will be wearing when she is dead, okay. And number two is, of course, what ringed means. Ring means tied up. Aunt Jennifer is tied up, or Aunt Jennifer is confined in her marriage, okay. Another word is there, and that is ordeals. What is the meaning of ordeals? Ordeals means something like a very painful experience. Painful experiences, okay, that is the meaning of ordeals here, okay. Another word is there, that is mastered. Mastered means what? Controlled. Aunt Jennifer is controlled. Controlled by whom? By her own husband, okay. Another word is there, panel. What is the meaning of panel? Panel means a flat board where Aunt Jennifer is actually sewing up the tiger, okay. So students, I hope you have understood the explanation, okay. In my next video lecture, I will be providing you with the symbolism and the literary devices used in the poem, because Aunt Jennifer's tiger, when it comes in the board exam, literary devices will definitely come, okay. So I'm going to provide you with another PPT video lecture where I will be giving you about, telling you or discussing about the symbols and symbolism used and the literary devices used in this poem. Please go through the explanation. Please go through the poem clearly. If there is still any doubt, please clarify it from me in the class, right? Thank you, students. Study well.